There's nothing more awful than when a child dies, especially when you know that you were the last person that child talked to before they died. That part of dispatching, it'll never get easy, and there will never be a time where I don't blame myself or beat myself up for not doing everything I could, even if it seems like I did. There's always that what if that comes to mind. For confidentiality, all names have been made up. This call came through on Saturday night, just after 10 p.m.
911, what's your emergency? There's someone in my house.
A faint whisper was heard over the phone.
Okay, can you tell me where you live and what happened? My name is William. I live at... My mum and dad are on vacation, so I'm home alone. Okay, William. Are you hiding right now? Yeah, I'm in my dad's office. I locked it from the inside. You need a key to get in. Perfect. Is there somewhere else you can hide in there, just in case someone gets in? I need you to do that for me, okay? Yeah, there is. I'm already under the desk. I'm too big to fit anywhere else. Okay, that's alright. How old are you? The police are on their way. We'll just keep talking quietly until they get there, okay? Okay. I'm 11, and my parents let me stay home. Wow, that's really cool. You must have been excited, huh?
His breathing stopped short, and I heard the faint sound of someone calling his name.
That's my grandma. She's been checking up on me,
he whispered.
Are you sure she wasn't the one who was in the house when you called? Yeah, I saw other people. They were wearing masks.
I sent more details about the dispatch.
Did they see you? No, I don't think so. I was getting a snack from the kitchen when they came in through the back door. I ran right into my dad's office.
He was starting to hyperventilate.
William, I need you to breathe, okay? The police will be there.
I was cut off by the sound of a woman screaming.
Grandma?
He whimpered. He shuffled around, and I could hear him get out from under the desk.
William, stay where you are, okay? Don't move. But... my grandma...
He was beginning to sob into the phone.
I know, but she's going to be okay.
Sometimes, the best way to reassure someone was to reassure yourself.
They're trying to get it. I can hear them at the door.
His voice was so low that I could barely make out what he was saying.
Okay, just stay put. Don't move and don't make a sound, okay? The police will be there any minute.
He was breathing heavy on the other line, and I could hear the sound of the lock of the door being smashed.
William, stay as silent as you can, okay?
I heard footsteps and the faint whispers of two people talking to each other.
I think they're going.
William started to speak, but started to scream. The phone fell to the ground, and I heard the commotion of William struggling against the intruders in his home. They were swearing at him, and finally, there was a thud.
What do we do with him?
The sound of a woman was faintly heard.
He saw our faces.
A man spoke.
But he's just a kid.
She sounded upset.
And she was just a lady.
He stopped short, and then I heard him pick up the phone. And then the end of the call. The following day on the news, I found out what happened to the boy and his grandmother. Unfortunately, neither one made it. Although there's not much of a happy ending here, the best part of this was that there was a full-blown investigation made, and the intruders were eventually apprehended and landed in prison where they belong. Though, personally, I believe that they deserve so much more than that. So, this one is going to be a long one. Now, bear with me. I want to start off by saying that I'm a very logical person. In other words, I try to think about the most rational reasons behind things before coming to the conclusion of something unorthodox. But there are times where even I can't explain the things that I hear in a call. In my district, people often find their way to the surrounding ghost towns and run into trouble because someone gets hurt or lost, and or both. Since these towns are not patrolled regularly and have bad cell phone and radio reception, a lot of people have spent days stuck in a sinkhole or in a building without a way out. Deep in the bush, off a side road near an old ghost town, there is an abandoned prison. Not a lot of people are aware that it's even there until they come across it, because the road leading there is so overgrown and well hidden that it doesn't stick out to anyone. The road itself to get to the prison is so dangerous and riddled with sinkholes that people often never make it to the prison before running into a problem, that is. Especially if they go out there at night. But no one ever talks about the prison because it was only functional for a few years, and it's basically been forgotten. It was originally shut down because the ground in which it lay is very unsteady and has been known to collapse under trespassers' feet. I was born and raised in this city, and I had never even heard of it. That is, until a call was made from there one day. A call that I still can't explain. So, this call came in shortly after 3 a.m. on a Saturday. I was relatively new at my job. I had only been there for a few months and was still learning.
911, what's your emergency? Hello? Hello? What's your emergency? My name is Robert James, and I'm at the abandoned prison in the ghost town. Please send someone here right now, okay?
He was severely panicked and spoke really fast.
Okay, Robert, what's the address?
I was somewhat skeptical, having never heard of an abandoned prison, and tried my best not to sound annoyed, even though I had the feeling that it was a prank.
Fuck. I don't fucking know, okay? How the fuck am I supposed to know? I'm not even from around here.
The sheer terror in his voice told me all I needed to know.
Robert, you said that you were in an abandoned prison in Ghost Town, right? Did you see any street signs or anything on the way in? Was there anything that you can remember?
On my screen, the call itself wasn't giving me an address or a provider.
I was on, I don't know. Some road. I think it was George Street or something.
He took a deep breath and continued.
I saw some gravel on the side of the road. Fuck. So I went down the path and saw this fucking place.
His breathing was ragged. I sent a dispatch to the road of which Robert was on, with the detail about looking out for a gravel path off the side of the road.
Okay, Robert, the police are on their way. Can you tell me exactly what happened? Are you alone? No. Well, now I am.
He choked out the words.
What do you mean? Who were you with? John Witt. I don't know where he went. He was with me and now he just isn't.
I could hear him walking around and breathing heavy.
Can you tell me what happened? Start from the beginning, okay? Okay, well, we heard about this ghost town from a friend, and we thought it would be a good idea. What was that?
He stopped and stayed silent, and then continued.
So, we made the trip to take some cool photos, you know? Our friend didn't even tell us about this fucking place. But when we found it, we had to. Fuck's sake. I should have listened when John said that this place just didn't feel right. Okay, so what happened to John?
I tried to keep him on track.
That's a good fucking question, dude. I swear to God that he was right fucking behind me. Okay, so where are you now? Are you still inside the prison? Yeah, but I don't know how the hell to get out of here. And it's fucking dark down here. And I just have my phone. Wait, did you hear that?
He stopped and I listened attentively, and I heard the faint sound of banging.
Yeah, I did hear that. Listen, can you find your way out of the prison? Well, the only way you can get in here is through the basement, and I don't want to go back down there.
He sounded terrified.
Why not? Did something happen? Kind of. I mean, no, but, I think I heard things down there. Like people or something. Listen, I know that you're scared, but you're going to have to go through the basement. Unless there's another way out. You're right. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna go there now, okay? Fuck this place. Good. Just keep talking to me, okay?
He walked for a bit, and then stopped.
John? John, are you down there?
Robert sounded worried.
Oh, fuck! Holy shit!
He was hysterical at this point, and started screaming over the phone.
Robert, what happened? Are you okay?
I tried my best to contain my own panic as he screamed and cried over the phone. He started to run with his phone down because I could hear the sound of his shoes against the floor, and occasionally he would stop, take a deep breath and mutter something unintelligible, out of my hearing. I tried to yell over the phone, continuously asking what it was that happened, and eventually he came to a stop and I could hear the sound of crickets. He was outside and his breathing came back over the phone.
I made it. I made it outside.
He let out a sigh of relief.
That's great, Robert. If you can, you should try to make it out on the road, okay? The police should be there any minute.
Truthfully, I didn't know how close the police were, but at this point, I was just hoping that he would get away from that place. He simply agreed and started to walk, and eventually, as he got deeper down the trail, a static would come and go and intercept the sound of his breathing.
Man, I was going to here. I know that I'm not going to, okay?
Static chopped up his words.
Sorry, can you repeat that? I didn't quite catch.
And then the call just abruptly ended. The call itself never bothered me, until after I discussed it with a fellow co-worker about the abandoned prison I heard about. We discussed a little about the prison and why it was shut down, and she told me that it was a hotspot for young photographers. She told me a story about two young men that had gone to the abandoned prison to take photos. They had been reported missing by their family members, seeing as though they never came back home from their trip to Ghost Town. It was not long after that the police found the bodies of the two men. One had fallen into a sinkhole in the prison and had broken his neck. He didn't suffer. He died pretty much instantaneously. The other man, though, was found alongside the trail leading to the prison. Signs pointed to a heart attack. They believed that he died of fright. Truthfully, I'm not sure who called me that night. Deep down, I tell myself that it was a prank. But his emotion just felt so real. The panic and the terror, it was beyond real. I honestly just can't even explain it. I'm not sure whether I should believe that it was just a sick joke or not, but it still sends a chill down my spine to think about it. What do you guys think? The forests around here are very thick and dark. There are many trails that go on for hours and are regularly patrolled by park rangers and the like. Many people search for the next greatest trail by making one of their own or going off of a main trail within the national parks. However, these people are usually the ones that seem to get lost the most. They'll walk around in the dense forest for hours and find themselves not remembering which way they came from, or not seeing the familiar tree in which they marked. And although the forest is dense, there is enough cell phone reception in certain parts that helps these people to be able to call in when they're lost. Most of the time, when people call, they're found, and in the majority of cases, they're still alive. Many people who wander off, though, into the bush and are without cell phone reception, well, they often never get found because the missing person report cannot be placed until it's too late. Anyway, this call came in around 2 a.m. on a Sunday.
911, what's your emergency? Hello? You need to help me. What the fuck?
It was a woman's voice.
Ma'am, can you tell me what's happening and where you're calling from? I'm on, shit. I don't know. I took a trail out here and went off it with a friend. What trail did you take? It was the River Trail Pass. She wanted to go off on the trail, so we did. And then we saw something in the bush and we went towards it. Oh, fuck.
She was starting to panic and I sent out the dispatch.
Okay, so what did you see? We found a body. Mel? Where'd you go?
She started to yell out her friend's name.
You found a dead body. Does it look fresh or has it been there for a while? I don't know. There's a lot of blood, so maybe it's fresh? Oh, fuck. Who killed him? Mel? Listen, don't worry about that. Are you still with your friend? What's your name? The police are on their way. She was there like 2 seconds ago. My friend Mel. I'm Alex. Mel told me about this place and we just wanted to go for a midnight hike. What do? I'm scared.
I could hear her breathing rapidly increase as more panic and terror settled in.
I know you are. Do you remember how to get back on the trail? I can't remember which way I was. Where the hell is Mel? Mel, where are you?
She was screaming now.
Which way did you turn onto the trail? The right or the left? I think it was the right. Okay, perfect. Did you see anybody else out there with you at all, like on the trail?
I sent more detail to dispatch.
No, it's supposed to be closed at night. We just wanted to have some fun. Wait, did you hear that? Mel?
I listened attentively, waiting for a sound, but all I could hear was her heavy breathing on the other line.
I didn't hear that. What did you hear? It sounds like someone's out here, walking around. Fuck, I'm gonna die out here, aren't I?
She managed to say between sobs.
Listen, Alex, you're going to be okay. It might be Mel trying to find her way back to you.
She started to scream her name.
Alex? Alex, can you still hear someone walking around?
She stopped screaming and we both listened.
No. I don't think so. When are the police getting here? I don't want to be here anymore.
I could hear her walking through the bush.
Alex, stop walking. You're going to have to stay put and wait for a park ranger to get to you, okay? The more you walk, the more lost you might get. Okay. What do I do with the body? Don't touch it, okay? The guy looked like he was hurt really bad. I think someone may have killed him. His face, it's all beaten. Just don't touch him, okay? What was the last thing you remember when you were with Mel? Was she hurt at all?
A part of me was curious as to how she didn't see or hear her friend leave.
I told her that I was going to call the police, but she wanted to try and find the trail. I tried to tell her not to go because we walked for a long time. And I thought she listened, but when I called you and turned around, she just wasn't there anymore. Well, maybe she'll find the trail back and be able to point the park rangers in the right direction.
I tried to sound reassuring, although a part of me wasn't feeling so reassured.
You're right. Maybe she's getting help. But it's so dark out here. I'm really scared. I know, but just keep talking to me. They'll find you in no time.
I was cut off by the sound of shrieking and running, and then silence.
Alex, are you okay? What happened? Please help.
She whispered, and then the line was cut. After a long 3-day search, they found 2 bodies in the forest, about 2 miles away from the main trail Alex and Mel originally took. Unfortunately, only Alex and the dead man's body were actually found. And here's where things get really strange. Alex was not a local resident, and had come down to the park alone to do some hiking. While she was here, she met the girl named Mel. Alex had called her family to tell them that she was staying an extra day to go hiking with a new friend she'd made. Upon further investigation, it was later determined that Mel was the primary suspect for the murder of both the man and of Alex. However, she has still not been found. But both victims suffered the same contusions, one to the back of the head and one to their faces. I've learned a lot from being a dispatcher, mainly in the sense that sometimes the most dangerous individuals are the ones who are a danger to themselves. From my time of being a dispatcher, I can wholeheartedly say that the majority of the calls made are regarding people who suffer from some type of mental illness. Some of the worst calls are made from teenagers that are suffering from mental illness. Sometimes it feels like their whole world is falling apart, and at that moment in time, you are their last hope. Whatever you say impacts them greatly, and sometimes it's just not enough. The hardest calls for me are the ones where you just can't save them. That no matter what you say or how much you empathize with them, they're just too far gone already. This one is one of the odd times where I worked a day shift. This call came in shortly after 1 p.m.
911, what's your emergency? Help. I need your help, please.
A young man started into the phone.
Okay, can you tell me where you are and what happened? I need you to stop me before I do something stupid.
He was crying silently into the phone.
Okay, what are you planning on doing?
I softened my voice.
I'm going to kill them all, okay? Wait, kill? Why would you want to kill someone?
I tried to contact the cell phone provider for more information.
They all make fun of me. I'm not a faggot. I'm so tired of it. They just never stop. No one does anything about it.
He was sobbing.
Okay, what's your name? Talk to me.
Calls like these were cries for help. Teenagers who didn't know where to turn. Talking was a 50-50 chance that it would end great or and badly.
It's Matthew. What am I supposed to do?
He managed to say between sobs.
Well, first you have to tell me what happened. I need to know what's going on so that I can help you, Matthew. Well, last week, I was at school and Bradley and Connor, they thought it would be funny to steal my phone. And what did they do with your phone after they stole it? I had pictures of me. Naked pictures. They posted it on Facebook. I deleted it, but everyone's still making fun of me. Oh, okay. I can see why you're so upset. But will killing them really be the answer? Why are they allowed to ruin my life and I can't ruin theirs? That's not fair. Well, have you talked to any adults about this? Like your teachers or your parents? Dad doesn't even care about me.
His stuttering was getting increasingly worse.
What about teachers?
The cell phone provider finally got back to me with an approximate location. He was at a local high school.
They all love the popular kids, not me.
He sounded defeated.
High school's tough, isn't it, Matthew? I wasn't a popular kid either. I know what it's like to get bullied. Really?
I could hear the sound of relief in his voice.
Yeah. And do you want to know how I got through it? I changed schools, and then I made a whole bunch of friends. But nobody wants to be friends with me. They all think I'm weird. Well, I don't think you're weird. You know what? I'm sure when you change schools, there'll be someone else there that doesn't think you're weird either. But I can't change schools. My dad won't let me.
Any previous hope in his voice was now gone.
Well, I'm sure when he finds out about how upset you are, he'll change his mind.
I heard the faint sound of the school's overhead system. They were conducting a lockdown.
I'm gonna go to jail. No, you won't. You haven't hurt anybody, right? They're just gonna make sure you're okay. They're just gonna think I'm a freak. Listen to me, Matthew. You're not a freak. Where are you right now? I'm in the change room. I locked it so no one could get in, okay? Okay, I want you to think about this for a minute. I know they're bullies, and I know they deserve to be hurt like how they hurt you. But are you really any better than they are if you do this?
He stayed silent for a moment.
I mean, I guess you're right.
He was crying again.
I know it's hard, but you're so much better than that. Better than them. If you do this, you'll have to live with the guilt, and you really don't want that, do you? I know what I have to do, okay? Matthew, I can make sure you get the help you need. You don't need to do anything, okay? Please, just let me help you.
My heart was absolutely pounding now.
You don't understand. No one does.
I heard him set the phone down and shuffle around a little bit. And that's when I heard the sound of something falling to the ground, and the sound of Matthew gasping for air. I was screaming into the phone, begging for him to answer, and knowing well enough what he had just done. I sent details to the dispatch and sent an ambulance over. And eventually, they found the boy's body hanging from one of the pipes in the boys' locker room. Matthew was a freshman in high school, and only 14 at the time. He had a loaded gun in his bag, as well as a suicide note. it turns out that Matthew's father was a schizophrenic who would often skip on taking his pills, forcing Matthew to have to take care of him. The combination of having an unstable home life and being bullied day in and day out at school, Matthew had just had enough. In addition to finding Matthew's body, they found another body in the showers, attached to the locker room. The boy had been stabbed in the jugular with a pencil. It was Connor, a senior that had taken joy in bullying Matthew. There's always going to be a part of me that will always believe that there could have been more said, that I could have managed to say something to just get through to him.